Easy, funny, single female lead, non-cool article, parallel Three Kingdoms. Chen Hao, who returned home from work, unexpectedly traveled to the Three Kingdoms and accidentally became sworn brothers with Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei. From then on, his tumultuous escape journey began. It's just about development, it's about perseverance. Forcefully funny. Not many wars. Chapter 1. Accidental crossing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Shulin. Stay calm. Stay calm. Chen Hao stood on the rooftop, nervously looking at his girlfriend Yang Shulin. Why? Why? Didn't you finish work at 6 o'clock? Why did you get home at 5:50? Yang Shulin roared heartily. The matter between you and Guan Ying. I can treat it as not seeing it. Chen Hao tried to console him. But you've all seen it. Yang Shulin roared with a heart-wrenching roar, then turned to Liang Guanying. It's all your fault. It's all your fault. I told you to go, go. Why? Why do you still? Shulin. You and Chen Hao are not married yet, so it's not really a betrayal. We shouldn't be like this. Liang Guanying tried to persuade. What a mess. It's really difficult to be sandwiched between having one's own good brother on one side and one's own good brother's wife on the other. No. I won't have the face to see anyone in the future. Yang Shulin looked at Chen Hao angrily. It's all your fault. I want you to regret it for a lifetime. No, no. Shulin. No. I still love you. Even if you and Guan Ying. I still love you. Chen Hao said urgently, don't do this. You will regret it. But. We can never go back to the past. Yang Shulin cried. It must be possible. It must be possible. I didn't see anything just now. Shulin, don't do this. Chen Hao said urgently. No. You've all seen it. Yang Shulin's heart turned to ashes. We can break up. Anyway, put down your gun first. Chen Hao was almost crying. As for what? What's it to me? Bang. After a moment of panic, Chen Hao found himself in a peach forest. Time traveled. He shouted in despair. Chen Hao. He was going to say that after Chen Hao goes back, he must spread all your bad news throughout X City. But several other voices interrupted him. I don't want to be born on the same day, but I want to die on the same day. The three people in front of them did not expect that there would be one more person as they sprinkled wine and became sworn brothers. Big brother. Who is this guy? The first person to speak was a big black-faced man. Yes, big brother, didn't we agree that only you and I would form a sworn alliance? The strong man with a red face and long beards also asked curiously. The big brother with drooping ears and shoulders actually had a face covered in circles, but he carried the name of great virtue and was about to say some official words. Today, you and my brothers are sworn brothers. This brother appeared here, perhaps due to the will of heaven. Since we have already worshipped heaven and earth, we are all brothers naturally. Moreover, I think this brother has an extraordinary appearance, and his attire is different from that of ordinary people. I think he is also very human. The four of us are brothers today. The person paused for a moment and said, me, Xuanda. Yun Chang. Ida. Lu Guan and Zhang each reported their own trade names, while Chen Hao stood still, staring at the skills that appeared in his mind. Name. Silubu launch condition. Consume one weapon skill function. Enable the host to obtain the divine courage of LV Bu and defeat all directions. Time limit. Lasts for 1 hour. Note. This skill can be activated once a day and reset in the early morning every day. Skill is a good skill. If he really traveled to the Qing dynasty, wouldn't it be shameless? Unfortunately, it took him to travel to this war-torn three kingdoms, and this skill was only for Sai Lu Bu. They have real Lu Bu here. How can we play this? Thinking about this in my heart, I couldn't help but curse, mad. Chapter 2. The Four Swords of Taoyuan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Oh. I wonder if Mada will be in the Guiging this year. Lu Xuanda asked nervously. Big brother. I'm younger than all three of you. You can call me Chen Hao, or even Xiao Hao. Chen Hao said humbly. Nonsense, you three are almost 2,000 years older than me. Oh. Liu Bei's face showed a smile, and he was a promising young man. From then on, Mada will become the fourth brother. We, the four brothers, will definitely put an end to the Yellow Turban Thief Party and protect our Han dynasty. Fourth brother. Fourth brother. At this moment, Guan Yu and Zhang Fei each patted Chen Hao's shoulder and affectionately called out. Lie down. What kind of strange force is this? Just a tap on the shoulder, and it's like this. Chen Hao sighed in his heart, swallowing back a mouthful of old blood that had surged up his throat. Second brother. Third brother. Actually, I'm a strategist. I'm not very good at martial arts or anything. Although the blood in my throat was swallowed back, the embarrassed appearance was seen by Lu Guanzhang and the others. Chen Hao could only grit his head and explain. Oh. I see. Liu Bei understood, what we are missing at this moment is the strategist. It's really fate that fourth brother can appear here. After all, Liu Bei's family was the greatest virtue of the three kingdoms, and his sincere words made Chen Hao develop a slight liking for him. Guan Yu stood on the side with a red face, not speaking, but his eyes were filled with contempt. On the side, Zhang Fei exclaimed, where did the bird servant come from? Our brothers are all brave warriors. We are gathering here to help the Han family and pacify the bandits. You bird servant should leave quickly to avoid losing your life in the future. Third brother. Liu Bei approached to dissuade. Big brother. Zhang Fei turned around and clenched his fists at Liu Bei. The three of you and my brothers are sworn here for the righteousness of our great Han dynasty. If this bird servant were to sneak in, Ida would not be convinced. If that's the case, you three would sworn together. After Zhang Fei finished speaking, he had to turn around and leave. Third brother. Guan Yu grabbed Zhang Fei, who was about to leave. He knew Zhang Fei was brave and would not let him leave. Since we have sworn brothers, we must live and die together. How can we easily leave? Hey! Do you have any manners? Open your mouth and keep your mouth shut, you're just a bird. You can leave as soon as you want. Who would still want to sworn with you? Chen Hao's temper also rose, and he thought to himself, who would be willing to run around with you? Although I am not familiar with the three kingdoms, I also know that it is much better to follow the leader Chao than to follow the three of you. Fourth brother. Liu Bei turned around and stopped. On the side, Guan Yu and Zhang Fei clearly did not expect Chen Hao to be so tough. The two of them stood still for a long time, and Zhang Fei was the first to react. Grandma, this is being scolded. Immediately roll up your sleeves and rush up to fight. Third brother. Guan Yu beside him quickly hugged the enraged Zhang Fei. Second brother. Let go, I will definitely kill this bird servant today. Angry Zhang Fei struggled hard, while Guan Yu hugged him tightly, his face turning red from being suppressed. Ah! His face was already very red. Third brother. Liu Bei beside him also came up and hugged Zhang Fei, turning his head to look at Chen Hao. How could fourth brother be so vicious? Why am I so malicious? Chen Hao was a bit confused, thinking back on what he had just said. I just said he was uncivilized. How dare this bird servant curse like this? Zhang Fei tried hard to charge away, while Liu Bei, holding him on the side, was lifted half a foot off the ground by his strange power. Fourth brother shouldn't be so rude. Guan Gong beside him couldn't bear to watch. Chen Hao said, I'll just say it. Is that so impolite? I haven't even cursed the essence of Chinese culture yet. But seeing that Zhang Fei was on the brink of losing control, this fight was inevitable, so he said helplessly, okay, it's just a fight. You two, let go of him, I'll fight him. The three brothers on the side were all stunned when they heard it, and even struggling Zhang Fei was stunned. I didn't hear it wrong, did I? Chen Hao wants to fight me. But I agreed first. You can fight me, don't be stubborn. I'm not a fierce general with a force value of 20,000. If he loses, don't take turns coming up to fight me. Chen Hao said. I lost. Zhang Fei jumped up again upon hearing this. If Grandpa loses, just call you, brother. Third brother. Guan Yu advised. Third brother. Don't be reckless. Liu Bei also said. Chen Hao's head swelled for a moment and he said, okay. You guys make me prepare. After Chen Hao finished speaking, he started his 8th set of radio gymnastics in place. Amidst the surprised gaze of the three brothers, Chen Hao completed a complete set of radio gymnastics. During the final finishing exercise, he picked up a wooden stick on the ground and said, ha. As soon as Chen Hao developed his skills, he instantly realized that his set of radio gymnastics was in vain. With such abundant physical strength, there was no need to warm up or anything to break through the tide. Come on. Chen Hao shouted loudly. Liu Bei and Guan Yu on the side all turned pale at it, and the momentum of this drink was truly astonishing. Zhang Fei didn't care how much he did, but he punched directly. Although he was reckless, he was not a bloodthirsty person, so he still took some strength from the punch and just wanted to teach Chen Hao a lesson. Chen Hao punched in and faced one of the most powerful generals of the three kingdoms. He dared not hold back. Although his skill was called Sailobu, it was still unknown whether he could win or not. Chapter 3. The Battle of Sanning Chen Hao. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. With a loud bang, Zhang Fei was pushed back several meters and his arms were even more painful. He managed to stabilize his steps, but his ferocity was ignited. Drink. Zhang Fei let out a loud shout, shattering his black clothes and revealing his thick, dark flesh. I'm wearing explosive clothes. Chen Hao exclaimed in surprise, thinking to himself that even Sailobu couldn't see explosive clothes. Can this skill withstand it or not? It has been proven that he was too worried. The reason why this skill is called Sai Lu Bu instead of Sai Zhang Fei is because at this time, Chen Hao is indeed not something that Zhang Fei can resist. The two fought for more than 10 minutes, and Zhang Fei was already sweating profusely. On the other hand, Chen Hao's forehead was slightly sweating. The fourth brother has great skills. Guan Yu beside him saw Chen Hao so fierce that his hair couldn't help but itch, so he rushed forward and fought against him. Who is Zhang Fei and Guan Yu? That was one of the top generals in the Three Kingdoms period, and Chen Hao felt a clear sense of difficulty on a 1.1 basis. Originally, he was attacking Zhang Fei, but after Guan Yu came up, he could only resist with all his might. The three of them fought for about 10 more minutes, and Chen Hao also got angry and fiercely fought back. Guan Yu originally wanted to compete with Chen Hao, but had no intention of going all out. Although Zhang Fei was still fighting on the side, his dissatisfaction had long disappeared. He thought to himself that this fourth brother was really brave, and when he fought against me and my second brother alone, he fell slightly behind. So he didn't mean to fight the other person either. Fighting. Although strength is important, momentum is also important. Chen Hao's desperate demeanor temporarily suppressed Guan and Zhang. Fourth brother. Liu Bei beside him was even more worried. Such a brave person will be my beloved general in the future. I felt sorry for anyone who was injured, so I shouted and ran to the battle circle to persuade them to fight. Bang! He punched Liu Bei hard in the face, but fortunately Chen Hao stopped at the last moment, otherwise he might have been charged with killing his brother. Big brother. Big brother. Big brother. Are you okay? Chen Hao felt a bit embarrassed. After all, Liu Bei came to persuade him, but he himself punched him and twisted his nose bridge. Liu Bei covered his nose for a while before finally calming down. He reached out and took some water and wine to clean the scattered nosebleed. He covered his nose and said with a buzzing voice, "Ma Dezhong is unparalleled in bravery. Even if he breaks his nose bridge or loses his parent-child, he must keep his fourth brother safe. Ida. Don't argue with his fourth brother anymore." Chen Haosen said it's fortunate that Ah Do hasn't been born yet, otherwise you must have thrown him to the ground by now. But Liu Bei's sincere words and expression were incredibly sincere. Although I know this is trying to woo me, I don't know why, but I was a little touched. It is indeed the great virtue of the three kingdoms. Chen Hao thought to himself, although I don't have to hide with Chao Dahu, that guy is careful after all, and he will kill me at any time. Forget it, we should make friends with these three, at least we don't have to fight in person. While Chen Hao was still stunned, Zhang Fei stepped forward and clasped his fists, saying, "Fourth brother. It's my little brother who is reckless." Chen Hao felt depressed for a moment. "You call me fourth brother, should I call you third brother?" "Ah. Third brother, you're welcome, they're all my own brothers. The fourth brother's martial strength is far beyond people's reach, and today I, Zhang Fei, have been defeated." Zhang Fei was also straightforward. Chen Hao quickly responded by saying that he relied on his skills. If he really started fighting, this third brother who could fight 50,000 would crush him in minutes. "What's that, third brother? I've already told you, I'm not good at fighting. I just relied on the secret method passed down by my ancestors, but this secret method is quite harmful. Every time I use it, I have to lose 3 months of my life, so I never fight with anyone." Chen Hao quickly tried to reconcile. "Oh." Long-bearded Guan Gong nodded, his face slightly better. He was so proud, how could he be happy when he met someone who could hit him and Zhang Fei? With Chen Hao's words, he was relieved and his gaze towards Chen Hao disappeared from hostility. 12. 3. 4. 30. 102. Liu Bei was silently counting with his fingers, probably calculating how many fights Chen Hao could help him fight. "Ah." Zhang Fei's face changed drastically, "Isn't it because I lost 3 months of my life?" Chen Hao felt depressed in his heart. He just called me fourth brother and fourth brother. Now that I can't beat you every day, he immediately changed his name to fourth brother. "It's tough enough." He said, "It's okay, it's okay. Today, I became sworn brothers with 3 brothers, even though I lost a little bit of my life." Zhang Fei suddenly turned his head to look at Liu Bei and said, "Big brother. Did we just say we were going to die on the same year, month, and day?" Chen Hao stumbled and thought to himself that this guy was caring about him, but who knew he was afraid of dying with him. "Fourth brother." Liu Bei looked at the ground and said, "The shoes on your feet are very unique. Can you take it off and have a look at Liu Bei, brother?" "Big brother. You." "Okay." Chen Hao reluctantly took off his shoes and handed them to Liu Bei. "Big brother, be careful. This is my newly purchased AJ, which I usually don't want to wear." "AJ? Why is it?" Liu Bei said strangely. "Oh my. Anyway, they are very expensive shoes. Big brother, be careful." Chen Hao looked at Liu Bei caressing his shoes with heartache and said. Upon hearing this, Liu Bei carefully stroked the sneakers with his hand and said, "They are indeed exquisitely crafted and have a novel appearance." As he spoke, he actually put his shoes on his own feet and said, "Unfortunately, they're a bit too small." "Hey. That's my shoe, isn't it? What's the point of causing trouble with your regretful appearance? By the way, you're already preparing for an uprising and still considering your old shoe selling business. Boss Liu, you need to pursue it. Chen Hao shouted in his heart, but his face was smiling and he said, it's really a pity. I was originally thinking of giving these precious shoes to Big Brother. Ah. Liu Bei waved his hand and said, size is not a problem. Brother, just take it home and make some modifications. Big Brother. Big Brother. Chen Hao nervously snatched the AJ from Liu Bei's hand. I'll buy another pair later and give it to Big Brother as a gift. We're in trouble now. Big Brother can't be distracted by such a small matter. Fourth younger brother is truly a strategist, he hit the nail on the head. The blushing Guan Gong stood up and looked at Chen Hao with approval. Fourth younger brother. Now that third younger brother has scattered all his family wealth and recruited 300 rural warriors, but these soldiers have no armor, generals, or horses. What should we do? Hello. Does the strategist in your eyes have to know everything except fighting? How do I know if you don't have armor? Your strength value is so high. You take it. Chen Hao was all shocked. Chapter 4. You are robbing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. However, at this moment, both Liu Bei and Zhang Fei looked at themselves with a hopeful expression on their faces. Chen Hao knew that if he came up with a solution, his identity as a strategist would be confirmed in the future. At least before Mr. Wulong left the mountain, all three of them would have to rely on him. But if he couldn't come up with a solution, without the Qinglong Yenhua blade, it shouldn't be difficult for Guan Yu to kill himself. Cough. Is there a horse dealer in that city? Chen Hao said. Fourth younger brother is truly a divine person. Liu Bei exclaimed. At this time, there were two Zhongshan merchants in the county inn, one Zhang Shiping and the other Su Xuan. The two of them had been selling horses to the north all year round. Now that the bandits have started, they have to go back. They are currently living in the inn and will go back tomorrow. Lying trough. You inquired so carefully. Don't you just want to snatch someone else's horse? Now come and ask me why. Big Brother. Why don't we requisition their horses first? Chen Hao asked tentatively. How could that be so? Liu Bei exclaimed in shock, how different is such behavior from those yellow scarf bandits? Big Brother. Those who achieve great things are not bound by small details. We are not doing this to forcibly rob property, but for the benefit of the people of Han Dynasty. Chen Hao said. Big Brother. I think what fourth brother said makes sense. Zhang Fei said. You shut up. Such an uprising is not a good thing. I will not do such a wicked act. Liu Bei said solemnly. Well. If they can obediently lend the horses to Big Brother. Look at this. Chen Hao tentatively said. If that's the case. That's fine. Liu Bei said with ease. Hey. Third brother, find a few people to invite those two merchants over. Chen Hao said to Zhang Fei. Fourth brother. You say. This is not related, how could Zhang Shiping and Su Xuan borrow horses for nothing? Liu Bei asked in confusion. Big Brother. We also wear yellow scarves for the sake of the people of the world. We appeal to our emotions and reason, and I believe that with those two people's perspectives, they are definitely willing to lend horses to each other. Chen Hao said. Ah. I hope so. Liu Bei shook his head and ran towards the front hall. Third brother. After those two merchants arrive, you need to show more ferocity. Chen Hao grabbed Zhang Fei and whispered. How fierce should this be? Zhang Fei asked in confusion. You just. Chen Hao looked up at Zhang Fei and said, it's okay. Just stand by and watch without saying anything. When Zhang Shiping and Su Shuang arrived in the main hall, they were already very nervous. Although the dozen or so naked strong men said, "Our lord, please," their tone and attitude didn't seem like a "please" at all. The two of them arrived at the main hall and saw Zhang Fei standing on the side, trembling like a sieve. "Ladies and gentlemen, hello." Liu Bei sat upright and said humbly. But after Zhang Shiping and Su Shuang glanced at Zhang Fei, their eyes couldn't be moved anymore. "Don't be afraid, both of you. This is my third brother Zhang. Although he has a rough temperament, he is not a villain," Liu Bei said. "Oh." Upon hearing Liu Bei's words, the two of them just breathed a sigh of relief. "By the way, third brother. What should you do if someone steals the meat from your stall?" Chen Hao spoke to Zhang Fei. "That bird fight, just kill it," Zhang Feihuan said with wide eyes. Upon hearing these words, the two merchants began to tremble again. "Don't be afraid, both of you. This is my fourth brother Chen Hao and Chen Maid, who is always fond of joking. Don't worry, both of you." Liu Bei smiled and said, "Please sit down. Please sit down." The two of them were about to go sit down when Zhang Fei slammed the table and angrily said, "Our brothers are still standing, how dare you take your seat?" Zhang Shiping's buttocks were about to reach the stool, but he was startled by Zhang Fei's call and jumped up. "Third brother. You must not be impolite." Liu Bei angrily rebuked, "We have something to ask for, how can we be so impolite? It's the third brother. Why are you both guests? What's wrong with sitting?" Chen Hao complained, but secretly gave a thumbs up to Zhang Fei. The two of them stood or sat, awkwardly staying there at a loss. "Have you two businessmen, traveling north and south, ever heard of my elder brother's name?" Chen Hao approached and said. "Ah." The two of them awkwardly exchanged a glance and looked at Liu Bei with confusion. "Pa." Chen Hao slapped the table and angrily said, "I don't even know my big brother. How dare you come to Shui County to do business?" Su Shuang was fine, but Zhang Shiping had already bent down and was ready to kneel. "I have eyes but no pearls, I don't know your excellency." "Big brother. Tell them, who are you?" Chen Hao shouted. "Ah." Liu Bei shook his head with a mournful expression on his face. "My family is in decline, and I didn't want to mention it. My name is Liu Bei, with the courtesy name Xuanda. I am the great-grandson of Emperor Jing of Han, after Liu Sheng, the Prince of Zhongshan." Liu Bei's face hesitated, but his heart was filled with joy. Chen Maid is indeed a quite skilled strategist. Oh. It turns out they are Han family members. I'm disrespectful. Zhang Shiping and Su Shuang have been traveling far and wide all year round, and their flattery skills are naturally top-notch, especially at this critical moment of life and death. The flattery that saves lives is just open-mouthed. My family is in decline, let's not mention it, but now in the Han dynasty, bandits are rampant and the people are struggling. It really hurts me. Liu Bei said in distress. Xuanda Gong's great righteousness. Nowadays, bandits are rampant, and yellow scarves are rampant. I heard that the two of them also returned because of the bandits. I wonder if this is the case. Liu Bei asked. Ah. Xuanda Gongming saw it clearly, that's exactly how it is. Su Shuang said. I am recruiting local heroes and rising up to fight against thieves to contribute to the people of the Han dynasty. Liu Bei said. Xuanda Gong is righteous. This is truly a blessing for all people in the world. Zhang Shiping said. However, there is a shortage of horses nowadays. I heard that both of you are engaged in horse trading business, so we are invited to come and discuss. Liu Bei said. Oh. Su Shuang finally realized that the emotional family was looking for him to buy a horse. Business hasn't been doing well lately, it would be great if we could exchange the horses for money. Even if we had to compensate a little, they would still be willing to do so. Xuandagong speaks too seriously. It's not convenient for us to drive the horses south. If we sell them to Xuandagong, then. That's really great. Zhang Shiping was also overjoyed. I have scattered all my wealth and recruited local heroes. Where did I get the silver to buy horses with you? Zhang Fei said angrily. Hey. Third brother. Let me speak. Chen Hao quickly stopped Zhang Fei and said. Zhang Shiping and Su Xuang, take a look at me, take a look at you, and finally understand what's going on. Liu Bei sat upright on the side, while the big red-faced man behind him stood there with squinted eyes, as if he had fallen asleep and remained silent. The black-faced man was about to kill someone if he didn't agree, and Chen Mei's seemingly conciliatory attitude was unclear. Perhaps the black-faced man was instigated by this person. Is this here to rob? Chapter 5. Using emotions to explain reason. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This. Zhang Shiping was timid and turned to Liu Bei for help. Big brother. Let me talk to them. Before Liu Bei could speak, Chen Hao said first. What's the best strategy for fourth brother? Don't use your power to suppress others. Liu Bei said. Don't worry, big brother. I will give both of you an explanation. Chen Hao nodded and said. Two of you. Please take your seats. Chen Hao fanned his chest with a feather fan and spoke. Zhang Shiping and Su Xuang sat down in confusion. It's not impossible to let Zhang Fei directly kill these two people. This is just how it is. Liu Bei definitely wants the horses in their hands, but who is Liu Bei? The great virtues of the three kingdoms. He definitely can't do anything to instruct Zhang Fei to kill and seize horses. If you bully others with your might, you will definitely be chopped by your loyal and brave second brother. Two of you. Just listen to me. Chen Hao said. Brother Mada, please speak up. Zhang Shiping's face turned green, and the negotiation work was still entrusted to Su Xuang. Nowadays, bandits are rampant and the two of you are carrying these horses and silver coins. It's really a disaster, not a blessing. Chen Hao said, and now he doesn't really care about this title. Su Xuang nodded and thought to himself, I'll use what you say. If it weren't for these things, could we have met your four brothers? How do you two look at my elder brother's face? Chen Hao turned to Liu Bei and said. Duke Xuanda's ears drooping over his shoulders and his arms crossing his knees are truly a sign of great wealth, said Zhang Shiping. When it comes to recognizing people and judging things, Zhang Shiping still has his own set of tricks. That's right. Although my elder brother is down and out now, he will eventually achieve great success. He is a grateful person, and if someone helps him at this moment, I believe he will not forget it. Chen Hao said. What does Brother Mada mean? Zhang Shiping seemed to realize something. My elder brother is benevolent, my second brother is unparalleled in loyalty and bravery, and my third brother is even more outstanding in the world. Can my four brothers achieve great things? Chen Hao said. That's natural. With the help of the three members of Xuanda Public, they will surely soar to the sky and soar upwards in the future. There's no need to say more about this. I know what you're worried about. Let's analyze the situation. The two of you left Chua County with your horses and goods. In such a chaotic era, if there's no guarantee, some thieves will snatch your money and goods. The thieves won't tell you any etiquette or benevolence. It's also very likely that you'll lose your life. Chen Hao said. Zhang Shiping and Su Xuang nodded, as if they had really listened. If we were to lend the horses to my four brothers, we wouldn't have any silver to give to you now. But one day, if my four brothers can really succeed, we will surely be grateful for your great kindness. Chen Hao said, of course, if our luck is not good and we die in the hands of that yellow scarf bandit, you two may still have lost everything. The two nodded together again, even Zhang Fei nodded along. However, as you both travel north and south, when you understand the principles of seeking wealth and prosperity, how to make a decision depends on you, said Chen Hao. Zhang Shiping hesitated and looked at Chen Hao. Can we discuss it for a while? Nature. Please. Chen Hao said. Zhang Shiping and Su Shuang ran to the courtyard to discuss without further ado, but the three brothers Lu Guan and Zhang looked at Chen Hao with admiration. The fourth younger brother is indeed talented and agile, he is truly a dragon and phoenix among people. Liu Bei praised. Chen Hao didn't say any polite words about where and where. Although he didn't read much about the three kingdoms, he knew that these three brothers were not the kind of people who looked up at you just because you were humble with him. The more they pretended, the more they could move them. Fourth brother, what if they still refused to lend the horses to each other? Zhang Fei approached and said. They won't. Chen Hao said, fanning his feather fan. Ah. Why? Zhang Fei asked. Why? Isn't he stupid? If they don't agree, you should just grab it. I can't hold on horizontally or vertically, and even if I argue with you, I'll lose my life. Do you think they're all the same as you? Chen Hao thought with displeasure in his heart. Third brother. In the face of such great right and wrong, our Han people must contribute to the country. If they refuse to lend each other. Keeping such thieves is also a disaster, just kill them. Chen Hao said. Liu Bei nodded thoughtfully and said. To be honest, there is still a possibility that they will not lend horses, but with Liu Bei's personality, he would never commit murder or robbery. So Chen Hao gave him a preventive shot in advance. If these two people borrow, we will remember him well. If we don't borrow, these two are bad people. After we kill him, you don't have any psychological barriers. Liu Bei doesn't know how to commit murder and robbery, but if he were to slaughter two unscrupulous merchants for the sake of the Han dynasty, he would be extremely willing. Fortunately, Zhang Shiping and Su Shuang were not fools, so they naturally understood their situation. After returning, they not only agreed to donate all 51st-class horses, but also brought over 1,000 pounds of refined iron from the outskirts of the city, and also included 500 taels of silver as military supplies. Fourth brother. This. Liu Bei was somewhat overjoyed, these two Su Shuang and Zhang Shiping are really great. Big brother. They are now forced by me to donate horses. If they don't donate the silver and refined iron, it won't show their sincerity. They are just business people. We will develop in the future and repay each other as a spring. Chen Hao said. That's nature. That's nature. Ha ha ha. It's really heaven helping me. Liu Bei laughed happily and then felt a bit inappropriate. He looked at Chen Hao and said, thanks to the wisdom of my fourth brother, otherwise, would have had a hard time achieving great things. This is all I should do. Chen Hao held a rocking fan in his hand, looking like an expert. What he was thinking was, what kind of strategy is this? Are you looking for Zhang Laosan to hold a knife holder for such a small matter? Are their necks different? Maybe we can knock out more silver. Fourth brother. Now that we have this 1,000 pounds of wrought iron, my brothers and the four of us will first craft a suitable weapon. Liu Bei said. Big brother. This iron doesn't feel good. Chen Hao looked at those iron blocks and said, although he wasn't an expert in iron making, he could distinguish the quality of these iron blocks. Fourth brother, stop talking nonsense. This wrought iron, regardless of its material and appearance, is of superior quality. Liu Bei said. Fourth brother, can you say that you have seen better wrought iron than this? Guan Yu was surprised. If I'm not afraid of waste, I can build a blast furnace and make some good steel. Chen Hao said. Are you serious about this, fourth brother? Guan Yu exclaimed in surprise. You know, nowadays, a good weapon is like a life-saving talisman. Who wouldn't want to get a divine weapon sharp blade? Chapter 6. Creating the Blade of War. You are listening at novelfull.audio. If we say that people nowadays are simple, Chen Hao pulled a group of people from morning to night, and surprisingly, no one complained about the long working hours. Although no one had ever built a blast furnace, they still built the prototype of the blast furnace. Zhang Fei brought 2 trusted blacksmiths from the village over, and Chen Hao taught them the method of steelmaking, so he began to lead them in steelmaking. The blast furnace was built outside the peach blossom forest. 2 days later, Liu Bei approached Chen Hao with a dark face and said, Fourth brother. The weapons of Xiang Yong have been completed. When can you finish them? Ah. Big brother. Let's wait for 2 days. The steel we refined just now has too many impurities, and I'll have it reheated. Chen Hao said. The bandits are becoming increasingly rampant. How can we delay this matter here for a long time? Liu Bei said with heartache. You didn't mention it was urgent at the time. Chen Hao felt a bit depressed, knowing he wouldn't take on this job. Big brother doesn't know anything. The steel that fourth brother refined is a divine weapon. Guan Yu, who was standing beside him, said in admiration. Although I don't know what kind of qualified, wrought iron fourth brother said, the scrap steel from that furnace just now seems to me to be unparalleled good steel in the world. Oh. Are you serious about this? Liu Bei also became interested. Guan Yu has been watching from the side for the past 2 days. At first, he couldn't understand, but when the molten steel came out of the blast furnace to cool down, he was shocked and said, such high-quality iron cannot be compared to extraterrestrial meteorite iron. Ah. There are still too many impurities, but it's much better than the previous one. Let's go back to the furnace and remake it. Chen Hao said. Fourth brother. Guan Yu originally wanted to stop him, but upon reflection, he didn't say much. Chen Hao had already seen that Guan Yu was dissatisfied. He had been standing there for 2 days, unwilling to hold hands, but he was still discerning. At least he could see that the steel produced from this furnace was much better than the previous one. Alas! What a pity! If we could add some manganese to make manganese steel, it would be hundreds of times stronger than these garbage. Chen Hao shook his head and said. Oh! Guan Yu said in surprise, Fourth brother, don't deceive me. Now that this wrought iron is rare in the world, how could there be something even stronger than this? If there really is this thing, let's send someone to search for it, even if it's in the ends of the earth. Second brother. It's not difficult to find manganese ore, but it's too difficult to extract that thing. Don't think about it for now. Chen Hao said. Sigh. Guan Yu sighed. If he could really refine the divine iron that fourth brother said, Guan would surely be able to surpass the others. Ah! You could have been proud of the others, right? 3,000 years later, everyone is still worshipping you. Chen Hao muttered softly and started working again. After finally refining a decent batch of molten steel, Liu Bei couldn't wait anymore. Chen Hao then hired a blacksmith to craft a weapon for each of the 3. Liu Bei made a double-edged sword, Guan Yu made a green dragon Yan sword, and Zhang Fei made a Zhang 8-point steel snake spear. Zhang Fei actually has quite a big opinion. Although his spear is also good, it is too light for him. However, he only refined a little steel, and most of it was used on the Qinglong Yanhua blade. He can only make do with it. Who calls himself the third brother Liu Bei's double swords actually have little meaning. He rarely fights, and refining this pair of swords is purely for the sake of pretending to be cool, but there's no way. Who would call him a big brother? Fourth brother. We only focused on our own weapons, but forgot to leave some to make a suitable weapon for fourth brother. Liu Bei said with self-blame, but his eyes turned to Guan Gong, meaning that your big sword wasted more than 80 kilograms of good iron, not to mention giving our brothers more balance. It's okay, big brother. Chen Hao picked up the simple knife on the ground and waved it twice. I'll use this for now, and when I have time later, I'll build a gun for self-defense. The gun is the king of weapons, but it is easy to practice but difficult to master. If fourth brother is practicing martial arts, it's better to start with simple things. This simple sword is good. Guan Yu said sincerely. What second brother said is right. I have been taught. Chen Hao humbly said. Second grandpa usually hates people arguing with him the most, and he still knows this. Second brother. How difficult is it to practice marksmanship? I haven't practiced any marksmanship since I was young, but holding this spear in my hand, no one can get close. Zhang Fei said displeased. His spear is similar to a spear, and seeing Guan Yu say so, he couldn't help but want to have a sparring with him. My third brother is born with divine power. If I had half of his talent, I would be a dragon and phoenix among people. Chen Hao grabbed Zhang Fei and said. Fourth brother. It's okay. Later, third brother will teach you how to practice guns. Zhang Fei patted Chen Hao's shoulder, almost causing him to vomit blood. Having the guidance of the third brother is naturally a good thing. We will discuss the matter of practicing martial arts in the future. The top priority now is to go and eliminate the yellow turban thief. Chen Hao said without hesitation. The gun he mentioned is not a long spear. The three brothers got the right weapon, so they naturally had a good time practicing. Zhang Fei and Guan Yu started fighting again, while Liu Bei held his double-edged sword and engaged in a duel with Chen Hao. At the beginning, Guan and Zhang were only engaged in a sparring, but as the battle time increased, they also became furious and fought fiercely with their moves. Fortunately, the Qinglong Yenhua blade and Zhangba snake spear were only cast into shape and had not yet been sharpened. Even so, their clothes were broken in several places. Finally, Liu Bei personally stepped forward to pull the two apart before giving up. I didn't expect fourth brother to have exceptional intelligence and martial arts skills. Liu Bei said to Chen Hao with satisfaction. Big brother is brave. Little brother feels inferior to himself. Chen Hao said with a swollen face and a blue nose. He thought to himself, are you free to come and compete with me for knitting? Does hitting me feel a sense of accomplishment? If you have the ability, you can fight them. All right. Today, my four brothers are going to have a good drink, and tomorrow we will set out to fight against the thieves. Liu Bei said arrogantly. They instructed their subordinates to sharpen their weapons without further ado. The four of them drank happily until late at night, and Chen Hao's relationship with them became much closer. Among the four people, Chen Hao, due to being frequently punished by his superiors for drinking, actually had the largest tolerance for alcohol. For this ancient low-alcohol liquor. Naturally, he would not pour 1,000 cups. Zhang Fei is the most greedy to drink, but his alcohol tolerance is actually not good. After drinking too much, he forcefully pulled Guan Yu to fight again. After Liu Bei drank too much, he began to sympathize with heaven and earth again, pitying the people of this world. As for Guan Yi, Chen Hao didn't see his depth. He sat there with a straight face from start to finish, his face flushed. When Zhang Fei got drunk and caused trouble, he threw a bowl and glared, I'm afraid you can't do it. At other times, he had an expression of not getting close to strangers. Chapter 7. Surrender to Liu Yan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next morning, a few people gathered 500 brave villagers and prepared to set off. Zhang Fei was riding on a horse, still feeling a bit dizzy. Liu Bei led everyone to seek refuge with the defeated Colonel Zhou Jing. Upon learning of his intentions, Zhou Jing was overjoyed and recommended the governor of Yuzhou, Liu Yan. Liu Yan didn't actually pay much attention to a few people, but only became familiar with Liu Bei after hearing that he was a Han family relative and recognized him as his nephew. The wine from the prefect's mansion is indeed much stronger than in my village, but unfortunately, Big Brother stopped me and I didn't eat enough. Zhang Fei said displeased. Third brother. Where is this? Our brothers are staying in someone else's mansion, so we must not drink too much. Guan Yu advised. Oh my. Second brother. I know. Zhang Fei said impatiently, do you think I look like a reckless man who indulges in drinking and bad things? Big brother. After all, we are new here, so we should be more cautious. I think the way Governor Liu looks at you seems to be a bit wrong. We still need to be wary of him. Chen Hao said anxiously, as he was scared by the leader's design. Hey. Fourth brother is too worried. Guan Yu said. That's right. They treat us well with good wine and meat. What kind of bad intentions can they have? You strategists. Just have a lot of ulterior motives. Zhang Fei took out the chicken legs hidden in his arms and said as he nibbled on them. I am related to Governor Liu, and we are sincerely willing to join him. Now, we believe that my uncle and nephew are harmful to my principles. Liu Bei also said. That's it. Will they still let us die? Zhang Fei said. At this moment, someone suddenly came to report to Lord Liu. The prefect has something to invite you to. Good nephew. Did you rest well last night? Liu Yan said kindly. Thank you very much, uncle. I slept well for my nephew. Liu Bei said. Oh my. Originally. You just came over, so it would be better to rest for a while. But now that the bandits are in great power, the bandit general Qing Ziyuan has led troops to attack, but there is no time for you to rectify it. Liu Yan said. That yellow scarf thief. Called. Liu Bei exclaimed in surprise. Yeah. I want to send Xuanda to fight against the enemy, what do you think? Liu Yan said. Sir. We are here to support the Han dynasty and eliminate bandits. It is our duty to do so. Liu Bei said. All right. Liu Yan clapped the table and was overjoyed. Xuanda, listen. I will send you to lead our troops to Zhuo County and quickly face the enemy. Listen carefully. Liu Bei took the arrow with both hands and retreated with the crowd. Big brother. Finally, there's a war to fight. My spear is starving and thirsty. Zhang Fei was also very excited. Guan Yu was riding a horse beside him, holding the green dragon Yenhua blade, but remained silent. Liu Bei led 500 personal soldiers to fight against the enemy in Zhuo County, and all 4 of them were very excited. However, the 500 rural heroes hung their heads and had no fighting spirit. What's wrong with you guys? They're all feeling down. When they said they were coming to get yellow scarves, weren't everyone pretty cool? What's going on now? Are you scared? Zhang Fei exclaimed displeased. Third Lord, one of them approached and said, it's not that we are greedy for life and afraid of death, it's just that. We came to join in the fight against the Yellow Turban Thief Party, but now it's asking us to die for nothing. We feel unwilling. Who let you die for nothing? Zhang Fei kicked him in the face. Our brothers will be brave and lead the way. On the battlefield, if you die in battle, your family will have someone to take care of you. Why say you died for nothing? 50,000 bandit soldiers. We only have 500 people. What is it that we didn't die, said the person. What? The 3 brothers were all shocked. Chen Hao didn't, because Chen Hao already knew. 50,000. Liu Bei said in a daze. Yeah. That humanitarian. This. Liu Bei said at a loss. Guan Yu remained silent and rode on the horse with a gloomy expression. Big brother. 50,000 people. It's not easy to fight. Zhang Fei said. Fourth brother. It seems that fourth brother already knows the number of enemy soldiers. Liu Bei looked at Chen Hao and asked. Ah. I know. When the person came to report, Lu Guan and Zhang went to the prefect's mansion, and Chen Hao asked an extra question, so he knew. So. Why didn't fourth brother stop me when I took the military order? Liu Bei exclaimed in surprise. Stop it. Isn't it just 50,000 yellow scarf thieves? Chen Hao said. This person is not enough for Guan Yu and Zhang Fei to separate. After he finished speaking, he waited for Zhang Fei and Guan Yu to say, Big brother, you can't fight, we can fight an extra 20,000. Unfortunately, both Guan and Zhang remained silent with drooping faces. What's wrong? Can't beat it? Chen Hao asked in confusion. Fourth brother is really good at joking. One person can defeat 100 enemies, I'm afraid no one can win. Liu Bei said. That's not right. It shouldn't be a problem for the second and third brothers to chop 8,000 by themselves. Chen Hao had activated the skill of Sai Lu Bu, and naturally knew how terrifying the opponent's strength was. This kind of skill is truly a terrifying presence in the million-strong army, and unfortunately, he overlooked one thing. Among these 500 people, there are only 2 Guan Yu and Zhang Fei, and the others are ordinary people. It's a good thing that fourth brother trusts us. But with 50,000 people, I'm afraid we can't finish it. Guan Yu said. Ah. So. What should we do? Chen Hao was also a bit panicked, he had never fought before. For today's plan, we can only rely on the wisdom of our fourth brother. Liu Bei said. Well. Why don't we run? Chen Hao said nervously. My intelligence. My strategy is to have Guan Yu and Zhang Fei rush over and kill those bastards. Big brother. I'm joking. Chen Hao quickly changed his mind when he saw the 3 of them looking unhappy. Don't worry. We can definitely win. The originally high-spirited team is now all marching forward with drooping faces. Liu Bei also had no confidence in his heart. Although Chen Hao said he would definitely win, 500 against 50,000, even if the opponent was a group of local dogs, he couldn't finish it. Everyone arrived at a pass in Daxing Mountain and happened to see the massive bandits at the foot of the mountain. As soon as the yellow turban thief saw that there were officers and soldiers blocking the way, he quickly gathered and formed in formation. It has to be said that although they are a group of bandits formed by the common people, the speed of the formation clearly shows that they have been trained, at least a bit faster than the gathering of the 500 rural heroes here. What a fart. Chen Hao thought with concern in his heart. Fourth brother. What should we do now? Liu Bei asked. How do I know? The book says 500 of you and 50,000 of them, so you just rushed up and did it. The result was a win. Now you ask me what to do. I also want to ask how you managed it. Chen Hao exclaimed in his heart. Don't worry, big brother. The mountain people have their own tricks. Chen Hao said. However, when he said that, Chen Hao was completely at a loss in his heart. What he was thinking at the moment was, if my elder brother dies in battle, should I go to seek refuge with Cao Cao? Or should I wait for Sun Jian and the others in Jiangdong? Chapter 8. 500 to 50,000. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Big brother, second brother, third brother. Let's do this. Chen Hao pulled Lu Guanzhang and the others to explain in detail. His strategy doesn't matter much, in current words, it's called attacking the heart as the top priority. Guan and Zhang have excellent martial arts skills, and their voices are even louder, just like the 2 loudspeakers. Rebels. How dare you invade our Zhuo county? Are you not dying? Zhang Fei shouted, even if your lives are as cheap as pigs and dogs, what should your family do? Anyone wearing a yellow scarf will sit in front of the 9 tribes. Why don't you quickly take them down? Zhang Fei's voice caused chaos in the opponent's formation, and many soldiers secretly took off their yellow scarves from their foreheads and held them in their hands. Put them all back on me. Put them all back on me. Chen Ziyuan shouted angrily, but his martial arts were no match for Zhang Sange, who was descended from heaven. Although he tried his best to roar and was closer to the main formation, his voice was suppressed by Zhang Fei. Now my elder brother Lu Xuanda is kind-hearted and won't argue with you or anyone else. Those who abandon the light and turn to the dark, let bygones be bygones. Those who take the head of Cheng Ziyuan will be rewarded with 1,000 taels of gold and granted the title of Marquis of 1,000 households. Guan Yu shouted. Second brother. We don't have that much money. Moreover, although I am a Han family member, the matter of conferring titles such as Marquis and Baron is unimaginable. Liu Bei said anxiously. Big brother. When are you still talking about these things? Let's deceive them first before we talk. Chen Hao glanced at Liu Bei and said. But. The matter of enfeoffment as 1,000 household marquis. Liu Bei said anxiously, I even want to become 1,000 household marquis myself. Where can I seal you off? Big brother. Cheng Ziyuan is the only one. If someone really came to take his head to receive the reward, it wouldn't be surprising that third brother accidentally killed 1 or 2 surrendered generals in this chaotic time of war, would it? Chen Hao advised. How could that be so? Liu Bei said with heartache. Soldiers never tire of deceit. If we don't say that, should we 500 brothers rush forward and fight against them? Chen Hao said, and the brothers behind him nodded in agreement. Ah. Okay. Liu Bei stopped speaking. Give you a stick of incense to consider. Do you want to follow my elder brother to support the Han family, confer titles of Marquis and Prime Minister, or continue to be your yellow turban thief party? You can choose for yourself. After a stick of incense. Let's meet in life and death. Zhang Fei continued to shout. The generation with a rebellious military spirit. Deng Mao, go up and kill him for me. Cheng Ziyuan roared angrily. Delying. Deng Mao rushed out with a machete in his hand, thinking in his heart, you are the main general, don't you let me go. However, as they rushed out, Deng Mao was also helpless and shouted loudly, I am Deng Mao. Ah! Before he could finish speaking, he was stabbed to death by Zhang Fei with a spear and shouted loudly, Rebel Deng Mao. Wearing a yellow scarf on his head is considered a gang of thieves. We will thoroughly investigate this thief in the future. Anyone related to it will be beheaded. Zhang Fei's loud shout spread far away, and the yellow turban thieves took off their yellow scarves one after another, leaving only some loyal fans in the front row hesitant to take off their yellow scarves on their foreheads. Can't this continue like this? If you let this kid shout anymore, there's no need to fight. I'm sure my side will collapse. But Deng Mao's martial arts are not much lower than his own. He was instantly killed with just one move. Isn't it different for him to go up and die? Cheng Ziyuan hesitated and refused to step forward. Anti-national traitors. Why not surrender early? Guan Yu also shouted on the side. Hey! Got it. This big man looks mighty, but his face is flushed. I think the voice just now had already suppressed his internal injury, so I'll take him for an operation. Cheng Ziyuan thought to himself and rushed towards Guan Yu, grabbing his horse. Guan Yu looked. Oh my! Business is here. 50,000 people can't do it together, but are you riding a horse alone? Okay. Just give it a try with my Qinglong Yenhua blade. Guan Yu clapped his horse and greeted him, wielding a knife in his hand. Cheng Ziyuan was originally secretly grateful. Although this red-faced strong man looked tall and powerful, he was actually just a bag of wine and rice. You could tell from the horse under his crotch that the horse couldn't even run and wandered leisurely there. What could a general riding such a broken horse have? But when Guan Yu chopped down the long sword in his hand, he was shocked. He was actually wrong. The long sword in this big man's hand weighed not only 100 pounds, but also the reason why the horse couldn't run fast was because of the long sword in his hand. With a sword enveloping the power of heaven and earth, Chen Hao was struck from above. He was shocked and turned pale, raising his sword to resist. However, when the sword fell, Chen Hao's long sword instantly broke into two pieces, along with himself and the warhorse under his crotch, both of which were split in two by Guan Yu's sword. Third brother. You shout so. Chen Hao rode up to Zhang Fei and taught him a few words in his ear. All right. Zhang Fei nodded and said. Then, Zhang Fei and 100 guards rushed straight towards 50,000 people. Second brother. Big brother. Let's hold them back. Liu Taisho has already led 100,000 soldiers to encircle behind them. We only need to hold them back for a stick of incense and strike back and forth. We must catch all these bandits. Zhang Fei shouted as he charged. Third brother. Don't finish it. Leave some for me. My horse runs slowly. Guan Yu charged forward with 100 guards, but his horse was really slow. The yellow turban thief party had already lost two high-ranking generals, Chen Hao and Deng Mao, and now they are all leaderless. Some loyal parties in the front still resist, but those behind them retreat like a tide, trampling on them and countless deaths. Fourth brother. Look. I just said, Liu Taisho wouldn't treat me like this. Liu Bei said excitedly. Ah. Chen Hao looked at Liu Bei in confusion. Didn't you hear third brother shout? Liu Taisho raised 100,000 soldiers and joined us as thieves, Liu Bei said. That was what I told third brother. Chen Hao said helplessly. What? You already knew. Liu Bei was shocked. Big brother. We can't be too sincere in our lives. Chen Hao said. Fourth brother said. Is this fake? Liu Bei was shocked. Yeah. Chen Hao said with a hollow eye. Well. Do you want to borrow a knife to kill? Use the yellow turban thief party to get rid of your second and third brothers. Liu Bei exclaimed in surprise. Hello. Just said you were sincere, why did you become so black-headed? What benefits does getting rid of them have for me? Chen Hao exclaimed in surprise. So you are. Didn't you look across from me? Chen Hao pointed to the defeated yellow turban bandits and said. We won. Liu Bei murmured as he looked at the fleeing yellow turban bandits. Yeah. Isn't this obvious? Oh. I misunderstood fourth brother. I thought fourth brother was still holding a grudge against your second and third brothers for beating you together. Big brother. This person. If you can't speak, just say a few words less. Chen Hao said in frustration. Chapter 9. Triumphal Resurrection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What? Winning. Liu Yan looked at Zhou Jing, who came to report in surprise inside the prefect's mansion. Yes, sir. Liu Xuanda and the bandits are fighting at the foot of Daxing Mountain, killing the enemy generals Chen Hao and Deng Mao. Defeat the yellow turban bandits. Now, the yellow turban bandits are scattered and fleeing, and our troops are leading the pursuit. Zhou Jing replied. Oh. So, Liu Xuanda is really a talented person, and it's a pity. After this battle, he must have suffered a serious injury, right? Liu Yan said. Sir. Liu Xuanda's troops have killed countless enemies and captured more than 4,000 bandits. Our troops have injured 6 people. None of them have died in battle, said Zhou Jing. What? No one died in battle. Liu Yan was shocked. How could this be? Even if 50,000 people stood there motionless and let them kill, they would be exhausted to death, wouldn't they? Liu Yan angrily said. Lord Hui. The news is indeed true, said Zhou Jing. Now, it's a bit troublesome. Liu Yan muttered. Sir. Winning. Isn't it a good thing? Zhou Jing said in confusion. Winning is naturally a good thing. But I sent them 500 people to confront the enemy, but there was no response. I think Liu Xuanda already harbors resentment, why not? Liu Yan said with a motion of wiping his neck. Ah. After all, Liu Bei and others were recommended by Zhou Jing. If they kill him, it will still have an impact on his reputation. What's going on? Liu Yan looked at Zhou Jing with dissatisfaction. I'll arrange it now. Zhou Jing knew Liu Yan well. If Liu Bei and his companions made Liu Yan doubt him, then his own death would not be far away. Report. Someone ran in, Liu Bei, Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, Chen Hao, and 4 others are asking for an audience. Oh. You came so fast. Liu Yan exclaimed in surprise, got it, let them come over. Liu Yan turned to look at Zhou Jing and said, it's too late. There are still more than 200 elite people in the mansion. You go down and ambush me. Wait for me to throw a cup. Order. Zhou Jing turned around and stepped back. Let's take a look at Liu Bei's side. Haha, today's battle was really enjoyable. Zhang Fei shouted loudly, it's a pity that the thief's martial arts are too low. If the enemy had a general like second brother, that would be so enjoyable. Chen Hao looked at him with a hollow eye and said to himself that if there were any concerns about the second lord leading a 50,000-strong army across the street, we wouldn't even be able to run away. Second brother is unparalleled in the world, where could there be such a talent? Third brother, what are you talking nonsense about? Chen Hao said. The weapon blade made of divine iron, fourth brother, is truly extraordinary. It cuts iron like mud, but someone's weapon blade is too heavy, and the horse cannot bear it. We need to find another good horse someday. Guan Yu now looks more and more at Chen Hao. This kid is really good at talking. He is truly a top strategist. Big brother. We won the war, why are you so worried? Zhang Fei said when he saw Liu Bei feeling unhappy. Fourth brother. Don't you think this matter is a bit strange? Liu Bei didn't answer him, but looked at Chen Hao and asked. Liu Taisho is really not a good person. He drove us to the brink of death, probably with the intention of harming our brothers. Chen Hao spoke up. Yeah. Zhang Fei patted his thigh and exclaimed, if we had 500 bandits, I and my second brother could have killed each other. But if we had 500 of us to fight against 50,000, they were trying to harm me. This scumbag. We'll have to skin him later. Third brother, don't be reckless. Liu Bei said, Liu Junlang is the prefect, how can he kill him at will? Sigh. Our brothers were originally willing to defect, but we didn't expect to be treated like this. Why don't we find someone else to defect? Big brother. It's killing. Guan Yu glared angrily at the prefect's mansion. Lying trough. You truly deserve to be the second master. I can even see things like killing gas, and all I can see is the big yellow dog barking at the door. Chen Hao exclaimed in shock. Sure enough. Zhang Fei also noticed the murderous aura in the mansion. Ah. So. Why don't we just leave? Chen Hao said. Fourth brother, don't worry. With me and Ida present, under 10,000 people, we can ensure the safety of our eldest brother and fourth brother. Guan Yu said. So. Thank you, second brother and third brother. Chen Hao said, thinking to himself that having these two as bodyguards is really reassuring. Let's go. Let's go in. Liu Bei said, Yun Chang, you need to keep an eye on Ida and not let him cause trouble. Big brother is an understanding person, knowing that Zhang Fei likes to pick things up, he specifically instructed Guan Gong to keep an eye on him. Ha ha ha. Xuanda's nephew has achieved a complete victory, and I have heard of it. Tonight, I will hold a banquet to entertain all the soldiers. Liu Yan said with a smile. Thank you for your kindness. However, I have heard that Qinzhou is now besieged by bandits and urgently needs rescue. I am willing to help Governor Gong suppress the bandits. Liu Bei said. Although the siege of Qinzhou is in crisis, Xuanda has just finished the war, so it's not too late to leave after 2 days of repair. Liu Yan said. The situation is urgent, I have no time to repair it. Liu Bei insisted. What are you trying to do? Liu Yan angrily said. I'm the governor, and I said if I ask you to fix it, you have to fix it. Liu Yan thought angrily as he picked up his tea bowl and threw it to the ground. Zhou Jing entered with a dozen or so personal guards, holding knives and welcoming each other. What does Shu mean? Liu Bei exclaimed in surprise. Are you going to kill my brother? Zhang Fei said as he luckily stomped his feet. His clothes were stretched open, and the blue bricks under his feet were crushed by his stomping. The towering momentum forced Liu Yan to take a few steps back. Hey hey hey. Don't get excited, everyone. Liu Yan said nervously, Zhou Jing. What are you doing? You just broke a tea bowl, put down the knife, everyone put down the knife. Humph. Seeing Zhou Jing and others retracting their swords, Zhang Fei reluctantly hummed and put away his momentum. My dear nephew. I thought you were tired and wanted you to rest more. Since my dear nephew is eager to fight against thieves, let's go. I will allocate 5,000 elite soldiers with you to go and fight against thieves. Zhou Jing. You also go with me. Liu Yan said quickly. Ah. Zhou Jing was stunned for a moment. He had been at odds with the others just now, but now he asked himself to lead troops to follow them to fight against the thieves. Ah, what? Are you too kind to listen to what the prefect said? Liu Yan angrily said. Liu Bei and others have a grudge against him, and they don't listen. It's normal for them to want to run away. How much money do you usually get from me? Do you dare to question me now? I dare not. Zhou Jing was startled. Liu Yan was his immediate superior and couldn't afford to offend him. Liu Yan comforted him once again and rewarded him with 1,000 taels of silver. Subsequently, Liu Bei and his 4 companions followed Zhou Jing and left. Chapter 10. Buy your head for one use. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Of the 4,000 prisoners, 35 out of them were willing to follow Liu Bei because they had food to eat. In these days, if there were no food to eat and they were about to starve to death, who would be willing to rebel? If Liu Bei had not just received Liu Yan's reward and also deducted some provisions from Zhou Jing's 5,000 troops, it would have been unimaginable. After Chen Hao picked and removed the elderly, weak, sick, and disabled, he left behind 2,000 people. The remaining 1,500 people were supposed to be driven away, but Liu Bei's benevolent heart once again overflowed, so he had to stay to do odd jobs. However, he had no wages and only had 1 meal of bran to manage every day. Those people were grateful and excited. Big brother. You go to Qinzhou to seek thieves, be careful. Chen Hao said. Chen Hao was originally unable to ride horses, and coupled with the long distance and the need for someone to greet the training of the surrendered soldiers, he took on this task and stayed at Zhang Fei's estate. Fourth brother. Why don't we let Yun Chang or Ida stay behind and you go with us? Liu Bei said. To be honest, Guan Yu and Zhang Fei have already used up all their strength points, and they don't lack any generals at all. What they lack now is just a think tank. Ah. Chen Hao didn't want to go to war or anything. Besides, he followed the three of them to the front line to fight. It's better to stay at home and train as soon as possible. That's right, in this chaotic world, Chen Hao particularly needs a group of loyal subordinates. He is not familiar with the Three Kingdoms period, but Lu Huangshu often suffered defeats in the early stages and fled everywhere. He still knows that if he didn't have some capital, he would really have confessed it here. Big brother. With the assistance of the second and third brothers, no matter what kind of bandits they are, they can only escape. I won't go. Besides, my military training method is different from yours. I'm afraid the second and third brothers won't be able to handle it. Chen Hao said in embarrassment. I can't believe that fourth brother, besides his exceptional intelligence and strategy, is also so proficient in internal affairs such as military training. It's really rare. Liu Bei said, however. I heard that Zhang Jiao claimed to be the general of heaven, capable of drawing talismans and practicing witchcraft. If that's really the case, it's probably beyond human capabilities. Chen Hao looked at Guan and Zhang, and thought to himself that their military strength could not be considered within the scope of human power, could it? Besides, isn't it quite easy to break his magic? Didn't you just spill dog blood and urine and feces to break it? Ah. His magic is the most taboo against filth such as dog blood, feces, and urine. Big brother, why not prepare some for later use? Chen Hao said. Fourth brother is really talented, he can even crack Zhang Jiao's magic. Zhang Fei stepped forward and said. Even Guan Yu looked at Chen Hao in surprise, and there were not many people who could convince second master. Okay. So, there's nothing to be afraid of. Liu Bei said. Big brother, go early and return early. After saving the governor of Qingzhou, Gongjing, big brother, don't be a woman. There are thousands of people in the family waiting to eat. Chen Hao said. Mada, don't worry. Let's go save Gongjing. He should definitely give something in return. Even if big brother Zhang doesn't speak up, I and second brother should talk to him. Zhang Fei said. So, I can rest assured. Chen Hao said. Liu Bei and Guan Zhang rushed to Qingzhou. When they arrived at the bottom of the city, Qingzhou was still surrounded. The yellow turban thief party was attacking the city, and everyone killed the general. There were many bandits who fought fiercely for half a day without winning, and they retreated dozens of miles to the lower stronghold. Alas! Without Mada, we suffered a defeat. If we meet in the future, I'm afraid we'll have to be ridiculed. Liu Bei said sorrowfully. At this moment, he finally realized the importance of Chen Hao. Big brother. Recently, I have had a lot of conversations with my fourth brother. He often says that soldiers are deceitful, but in reality, they are illusory. I see that the terrain in the valley is narrow, and even if the bandits are huge, it is useless. If I lure 1,000 people and horses to feign defeat and lead bandits into the interior, you and my second brother will surround and annihilate them. What do you think? Zhang Fei approached and said. Oh. A clever plan. Liu Bei praised, I can't believe that third brother also knows the art of strategy. He. It's all because the fourth brother taught well. Zhang Fei received praise from Liu Bei and laughed proudly. The next day, after everyone had discussed it, they used a plan to lead the bandit into the valley, and indeed defeated the bandit army and lifted the siege of Qingzhou. Fourth younger brother is truly a divine person. Liu Bei sighed, even if he stays at home, he can still help me defeat the enemy. Big brother. I came up with this plan. Zhang Fei said somewhat displeased. Didn't he learn it from his fourth brother? Liu Bei said, but Ida is indeed good. He can come up with such a plan in just a few days. In the future, he still needs to be closer to Mada. Zhang Fei received praise, and Chen Maid, who was far away in Zhuo County, was even praised to the sky. However, he had not made any achievements, and Guan Yu felt a bit unhappy. He stood there with a straight face and a knife. When Gong Jing approached to greet him, he was startled. He thought he had offended the strong man with a red face, but unconsciously, he had added 2,000 stones of grain. Chen Hao and more than 3,000 people set up camp in the outskirts of Zhuo County. It can be said that the ancient people were hard-working. The 1,500 people ate a meal every day without any salary, but they were not at all hesitant in their work. In just 2 or 3 days, they built the military camp in an orderly manner. Chen Hao divided the 2,000 soldiers into 200 groups of 10 people, and then had them compete to select the squad leader. Afterwards, the squad leaders competed among themselves to select the battalion commander, company commander, and regimental commander. At first, everyone was a bit confused, but later they found out, isn't this just a centurion or a centurion? They were relieved, but Chen Hao's training left them somewhat confused. At first, Chen Hao didn't let them do anything, but instead stood straight every day. "Sir," said a soldier dissatisfied. "Shout a report." Chen Hao angrily rebuked. "Report, speak up." "Sir." "Call the leader." "Your Excellency." "Call the leader." "There are no adults." "Chief." "What's the use of asking me to practice this?" the person asked discontentedly. "Oh. Do you think it's useless?" Chen Hao said. "Sir." "Chief, what can we learn from standing like this?" "Can we stand and stare the enemy to death?" said the person. "Great. You can think with your brain. You're a talent." Chen Hao smiled as he watched the chaotic scene inside the military camp. "The leader praised me falsely." The person was somewhat overjoyed, and when he said these things himself, he didn't get scolded. The rest of the people also turned to this side. "There are 2 taels of silver here, please keep them safe," Chen Hao said, handing over 2 taels of broken silver. "Sir." "Chief. How does this work?" Although the man spoke, his eyes greedily looked at the 2 taels of silver. "Take it." Chen Hao patted his shoulder and said, "Ah. You are indeed a talented person, but I don't need someone like you here." "Chief, are you driving me away?" the person asked. The whole group began to discuss in a low voice. 2 taels of silver were quite a lot. If they could really take 2 taels of silver and leave, I believe many people would choose to leave. "These 2 taels of silver. I'll buy you a head on your neck."